Hello, everybody. This is Georgiana and Meredith from Creativity for Kids, and today we are going to do some summer-themed glow-in-the-dark rock painting. So, Miss Meredith, take it away.
Thank you, Georgiana. Thank you, Felicia. And thank all of you for joining us today. So just like we said, we're going to be doing some glow-in-the-dark rock painting with a seasonal summer theme to them. Let's go ahead, open up the box and see what's inside. Okay. So for all of our kits, I recommend holding on to the box to just keep it near, just in case you need a little inspiration for what you're creating. And you can see on our box, we've got so many different designs like jellyfish, lightning bugs, a unicorn, a spaceship, a dinosaur, the galaxy, and a smiley face. So some of these already make me think of summertime, like the lightning bug. So while I'm going through what is in the kit, I'd like you to think about maybe some summer items that you'd like to see us paint during our class today. All right, we have our handy dandy instructions. We have our little stickers that you put on the back of the rock that says #CreativityForKids. We have our neon paints. We have our glow-in-the-dark neon paints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our fine tip brush for details and our broad tip brush for larger areas. And of course, we have our rocks for rock painting. And you're given 10 rocks in this kit. So I'll put this set aside unless we need them. And let's get started. Now, if you did think of something already that you'd like to see us paint today, go ahead and type it into the chat, and then Georgiana can let me know what you might want to see painted. All right, so getting started, we recommend if you see your rocks are kind of dusty, it's because they're natural, and sometimes they're dusty, and you can just rinse them off with water and let them dry. And of course, since we're painting, we put down something to protect our surface. I just put down some paper towels here. You'll need some water for rinsing out your brushes, and then some extra paper towels just for drying your brush. Okay. Now, the first thing that we recommend is painting your rocks white. And that's if you're going to be painting any kind of color. If you're painting your rock black, you don't need to paint it white. But if you put down a layer of white first and let it dry, then any other color that you put on top of it is going to pop a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a couple minutes and paint some of our rocks white. And also, if you have darker colored rocks, you might want to save those for darker color backgrounds. But again, if you put a layer of white on it, it should be fine. And while you are painting your rocks, you might want to just look at the shape of them and kind of imagine, what does the shape of this rock make you think of? And like this rock is kind of triangular, which makes me think of pizza. And although pizza is an everyday food for me, it's also a summertime food, I would say. Ooh, or maybe another more summertime food would be an ice cream cone. And that is also kind of triangular. So what else? Trying to think of summertime items for our rock painting?
That big one looks like a Frankenstein's head to me, and that's not summertime. But Tina said a watermelon?
Yeah,
That's
watermelon.
triangle too.
That
could
is
be anything,
totally.
really.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yep, watermelon. And what else? Oh, maybe like a strawberry. It's kind of triangular. And that's kind of summery as well. Oh, what about a sailboat? I've actually never painted a sailboat, but that might be cool. And that's kind of triangular. But we also have different shaped rocks other than the triangle too. So this one is very, very round, the one I'm painting right now. So we could think of things that are very round, like a beach ball maybe.
Autumn said the moon.
Oh,
That would be cool
yeah.
if it glowed in the dark.
Ooh, that'd be really cool. Yeah, because our glow in the dark paints, we definitely want to show those, how well those work.
I was thinking a pool floaty.
Oh, fun. Yeah, that's really cute. A pool floaty, floating in a pool or floating in the ocean, the beach. What else? What about animals? Are there any specific animals that might be more summery than other animals?
I always think about the bugs.
Yeah, there's definitely more bugs. Yep. Now this rock has some deep little divots in it. If you get a rock with deep divots like this, you can always take the tip of your paintbrush and kind of smush paint into those divots if you want to hide them a little bit. Or if you don't want to hide them, then this rock would be perfect for the moon, and it could be craters on the moon. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to let these dry. And let's take a look at these shaped rocks. So maybe, so I do have some rocks around me as inspiration. And like you can see here, this one is painted all black. A couple of them have a black background, like the turtle, this butterfly. Definitely a butterfly makes me think of summertime or even springtime. So let's see. This one, what would be cool with the black background?
What if you did a frog on a lily pad?
That is very fun. That is very fun. Okay.
They come out at night.
You know, that is a really great suggestion. I want to do a frog with a lily pad for sure. And I think what I would put down first is the water that the lily pad would be on. So I'm going to use the blue as the background for this one. And that's the one I'll paint the frog on. Good suggestion. So just a little side note, when you open up your paint, if you see any kind of like liquid at the top of your paint, just mix it in. That's normal for paint. And this is special paint that is formulated, so it's acrylic, but it has something in it. So if you do put your rocks outside, the rain will not wash the paint off of your rocks. So it's important if you do see any kind of liquidy stuff floating on top of your paint, just mix it in and it'll be fine. And so, although I painted blue on this rock, it is a darker rock, so I might need to put another layer of blue on it once this layer dries. So we'll let that one dry. And then this one, what are we going to do with that one? This one is also kind of triangular. This one I really think would be cool as the watermelon. So let's see. Watermelon is like pink with green rind, maybe a little yellow in there, and then little seeds. So you know what? I think I will do the background on this one white too. at least where the watermelon will be. And then I can always paint around it with the black. But I want the pink and the green to pop. So where I'm painting the white will be where our watermelon slice will be. Ooh, lemonade. Lemonade is definitely summertimey, and bicycles. Bicycles are summertimey. Bicycles can be a little tricky though. Sometimes you have to draw those out. And
I will say that this summer I have started a rubber ducky collection. So to me, that rock upside down would look like perfect for a rubber ducky.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll let nature take its course. But this one is all dry already. So this one, let's see. Let's make this one into our, it actually looks like a ghost. You said a Frankenstein head and it looked like a ghost to me. If it is a ghost, what would a summertime ghost, how would it be a summertime ghost?
We have a suggestion for ice cream cone. What if it's
Ice cream
a
cone.
ghost eating ice cream?
It is a ghost eating ice cream. That's what it is. It's a ghost eating ice cream. Okay, so how are we going to do that? What we're going to do is we're going to draw it out first. Georgiana, do you happen to have a pencil near you?
I do.
Perfect. Thank you. So we're going to draw out what our ghost eating ice cream might look like. So we'll start with the shape of the ghost. Round, 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 down here. We're basically just following the shape of the rock because it looks so ghost-like. But over here, this is where our ghost is going to be holding the ice cream cone. So I'm going to make that. You may or may not be able to see this, but I'm doing just enough shape to represent what the ice cream cone looks like. And then I'll fill in all the details of everything else after. So if you have never painted or drawn what you would like to see on your rock, I recommend drawing it out with a pencil first, just so you can see what it would look like on your rock. And it's a lot easier to just paint in when you have a little outline like this. So we'll put the eyes, like little eye here, and then a little smiley. So that's our little smiley ghost holding the ice cream cone. All right, I'm very excited about this. Okay, because I've never done the ice cream cone ghost before. And I love that it is following the shape of the rock so well. Okay, so what flavor ice cream can we make? We can make strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, banana, or we could mix them and make orange or peach maybe, or mint. The yellow and the blue would be a green. So how about if we just keep it simple and make strawberry ice cream. And you just go ahead, gonna lift it up a little bit so you can see. Paint in your shapes. So the ice cream cone, the ice cream of the ice cream cone is strawberry now. Yum! And I would like an orange ice cream cone. So to make orange, like you're given orange, so you could just use this. But if you ever need to mix colors together, you always take the lighter color and put a little blob of it down first. I'm going to show you. So to make orange for my ice cream cone, the lighter color would be yellow. And so I'm going to just plop it down on this paper towel. I'm going to use the paper towel as my palette. And then you just add a little bit of pink to it, mix it together, and you'll get orange. So now you have enough orange for your ice cream cone. Like this, like this. And I do think I'll go over it a bit with the glow in the dark orange too, just because it's super cool. But that's good. So I just wanted to show you guys if you have to mix colors or if you want to mix colors, it's easiest to start with the lighter color and add the darker color in. All right, so I think I'm gonna paint all the way around our ghost to differentiate the ghost from the background. So how about if we do, I don't know, how about if we do our rock, the background, should we do it black or should we do it purple?
I was thinking purple,
Okay.
but I think it's because my brother likes grape ice cream. So if his ice cream
Oh
can't be
my
grape, I guess his
gosh.
background can be grape.
Who has ever had grape ice cream?
I have not, but he loves it.
I've never had grape ice cream. Has anyone out there had grape ice cream? If you have, write it in so we can see how many people have actually had grape ice cream. I didn't know that even existed. That's why I said, like, what did I say? Raspberry?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Nope.
Lots
Nope.
of no's.
Nope.
I promise it's a real thing.
Well, this is something I'm going to have to explore. And when I go to our local ice cream store, there's so many ice cream stores around me though.
Oh,
There's Mitchell's, there is Honey Hut, Handles, of course, Dairy Queen. I'm gonna have to bring it up to them and be like, have you guys ever made grape ice cream? And if not, can you?
I'm laughing at Autumn's suggestion of blueberry, but would it be blueberry ice cream?
Ooh, just like that cereal,
Mm,
like during Halloween.
yeah.
It's like blueberry. Okay, this is turning out cool. Yeah. And then we can put little glowy lines around it, you know, like with the glow in the dark paint,
Oh yeah.
once the purple is all dry. Once the grape is all dry. All right, people. All right, friends out there. Have you thought about anything else we should do summertimey? Like what else you want to see me paint? And what else you're painting at home while we let that purple dry a little bit? Oh, I should do the bottom here. That pink is beautiful. I think so too, Tina. I do like that pink. All right. I know we said watermelon. I know we said the moon.
We have a suggestion for a donut,
I know.
a campfire tent, a camping
Ooh.
tent with a fire for marshmallows,
Oh.
flip-flops. Love a good flip-flop.
Flip-flops. That's a great idea too.
Maybe your crater one. That would be a good texture of a
Mhm.
flip-flop.
This one would be a nice shape for a flip-flop. Yeah.
And we got some good ideas today.
How about if we incorporate the moon with the little camping fire? That would be cool. That could go with this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. That's cool.
A flamingo was a suggestion.
Oh, that's really cool too.
I think they just want to see more pink.
Yeah. I love the pink. Yeah, I love the pink. All right, I'm pushing this one across here to dry. I'm using the back of my paintbrush so I don't get my fingers all painty, although it's inevitable anyway, and that's okay. All right, so first things first, let's do our smiley little our watermelon. I couldn't remember the name of watermelon. So I'm just going to put the watermelon's rind right here because it goes in between the pink and the green, this yellowy color. You know, like when you're having a piece of watermelon and you get part of the rind and it's that like wacky taste. It's not sweet like the watermelon. It's kind of like, I don't know. Nobody really likes it in my family. I don't know if anyone actually really likes it in any family. Okay, so here we go, mixing our colors again to make green. And we're starting with the lighter color first. And what you want to make sure is that you make enough of it so you don't have to remake it. So I've got my yellow in there, and then I just add some blue, mixy mix mix. And if it's not green enough for you, just add a little bit more blue. And again, you are given green as a glow in the dark color. So if you don't want to mix the color, you don't have to. It's already there. But I wanted to mix it just, again, to show you guys. So, and we'll go around the yellow. And this yellow and green are similar values, like they're similar lightness. So I think I definitely will go around it with our glow in the dark color because that green is a little bit darker. And with many of these colors, adding 2 coats is going to be the best for the vibrancy to make it nice and bright. And now we'll add the pink. And go right up to where the yellow is, where the rind is, the old rind. And you probably could use your broad tip brush for this too, because it's not super detailed yet. Painty paint, paint, paint. Oh, this is gonna look so cool, especially with a super dark background. And if you get a little bit of yellow in there, it's okay. Just kind of paint through it, mix it together a little bit. It adds interest. So here's the start of our watermelon. And we'll let that, well, actually, I'll paint around it so then the whole thing can dry. And although we are taking a little bit of time to let things dry, this paint does dry very quickly. So it's only a matter of minutes until your paint is dry enough to paint over it. I have a habit of wanting to rush when I paint though, especially when it comes to these rocks, because I'm so excited to paint what you guys are suggesting. So oftentimes I have to do little touch-ups in order to make it look as perfect as I want it to. But it's all good. So those of you who have painted rocks before, where have you hid them or who have you given them to after you're done painting? Have you ever gifted someone a painted rock?
I will say my painted summer rocks were very patriotic. And I like to hide them around the house outside, and then my cousins go and find them.
Aww, that's
So we make a
fun.
little game out of it.
It's like hide and seek.
Yep.
That's fun.
Oh, Autumn sells them at a market.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, that's cool. Oh, that's really neat. Okay, watermelon, ice cream ghost, flippy floppy. Oh wait, we were gonna do the tent with the moon and a campfire. All right, so moon. Let's do, a yellow moon? A full moon? Should it be a full moon or should it be only like a slice of a moon? What do you think? Who said moon? I'm referring to Autumn. Autumn, do you want it to be a full moon or do you want it to just be a slice of a moon? Let me know and we'll do it. And while you get back to me, I'm gonna start on
She said full moon.
full moon, full moon. Okay, full moon. Here we go. So full moon is a circle. Oh my gosh, it's gonna look so cool with the glow in the dark.
Then you could add the glow in the dark to the fire. Oh.
Oh
my.
yeah, this is
It's
gonna
painting
be
itself.
it's basically painting itself, and I am just here to act on it. So I'm not, it's not even me. Oh, okay, we will do a purple tent. And it's gonna be one of those A-frame tents, I think. So just kind of like this way, that's an A-frame. And just like that. Like that. Cool. That's our little tent. And I wonder if I should paint it black in the background. Oh, that'll be very dramatic and cool. Okay, so we need our, how do you build a fire? You need some sticks and stuff, and then the flame comes up out of it. So our sticks and stuff, I think we'll do orange again, and I still have a little bit of orange that's still wet. So just like making a fire, we'll put our little sticks down here first. And then we need a brighter orange to really pop off of that, off of our base of sticks. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more yellow and then a bit more of the pink to make a bit of a different color orange. A little bit more bright, less yellow, more pink. And you can see this orange is very different. Like this one looks more pastel and this one looks brighter. So we'll definitely have to put that glow in the dark one over it to give it a little bit more dimension. So our flame is gonna be a big one. Whee! And it's heading right up towards the moon. And again, we want to put a couple layers on there just to see it a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Nice recommendation, Autumn. Yes. Okay. And I think I will put a little bit of green, like, you know, just to give it a ground. Like here's the ground.
Unless our ghost is camping, then he can camp in the air.
Georgiana, you made very good points. Yes, he doesn't need the ground. He can just float around and visit campsites. And I think that's how ghost stories are formed.
I think so.
It's all coming full circle, really. All right. So I think I do want to do a dark background, but I don't want to do it black. I'm gonna try mixing the blue. Oh, when you're not using the paint, you can close it up so it doesn't dry out or so you don't spill it. So you just close little containers. So I think I'm gonna do a dark blue as a background. So I'm gonna start with the blue. And then add black to it, but just a little bit of black because black is a really, really dark color and makes other colors really dark very quickly. So just add a little bit of it, like just a little dot at first, and just mix it around. See how quickly it turned, like, actually it turned kind of gray, and that's fine too. So it's like a blue gray. And we'll just put that in there to create a little bit of a more of a nighttime look to our rock. So it makes sense for our moon to be out because it's nighttime. And that will make all of our other colors pop a little bit cool, like a little cooler too. And around our moon and around our fire. Down here. Boop, 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 boop. Oh my goodness. This is neat. Who would have thought this is what I would be painting today? I didn't know.
I think Autumn did.
Yeah, Autumn did. Yay! And thank you all for all of your suggestions because I can't wait to do them. All right, and then a little darkness in here in the tent. Okay, cool. All right, so push it aside to dry. There we go. Who knew that the paintbrush could be used as a pushing tool too? Cool. All right. And let's go back to our ghost. Yep, the background of our ghost is dry. So we need to add some detail, like the ghost eyes, the ghost smile, and then the outline of the ice cream cone and the ghost's hand or mitten or whatever you call the ghost like thing to hold on to the ice cream cone. And if you want, you can always use like a Sharpie or like a permanent marker, or if you feel like it, you can use your fine tip brush and just take your time adding the details. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use our brush and go around the little pencil marks that I had already made. And permanent markers and paints and all that jazz. If you do not have this kit, all of that can be found at your local Michael's. So if you do not have this kit, you can pick it up at Michael's. Or if you don't have this kit and you can't get to a Michael's, you can always find your own little stones like outside. And then just if you have any acrylic paint laying around, you can paint your own rocks that way. Find a brush if you've got a brush laying around. And we actually have like quite a few rock painting kits for inspiration. If you like this one, we have one that includes cool little transfers. You could transfer a shape onto your rock and then paint it. But this one, it includes the glow-in-the-dark paint, so that's why this one is special. And it glows super, super duper well. Yay! All right, I still need to put his little face on, but we got most of the detail in there. One little eyeball. Oh, you are becoming super cute, little ghosty. Little ghosty eating ice cream. And a smile. Boop. Oh, hi. Hello, sweet ice cream cone eating ghost. All right, should we make it with eyelashes? No, I'll just leave it as it is. Okay. But now I can add the glow in the dark paint. So let's do that. Oh, okay. So just thinking ahead, I do have black on my paintbrush already. So I'm going to add the little seeds to our watermelon. Since I already have black on my brush, I might as well add our seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I actually like seedless watermelon rather than the ones with the seeds. But if I were not to add the seeds, I don't know if people would know it was a watermelon. It might be hard to tell. Just like that. Yay! All right, and then I can add the glow in the dark to all 3 rocks. All right, put our brush down for now. All right, so these are our glow in the dark paints. And you just unscrew the top. Actually, before you unscrew the top, I recommend just doing that where you're like hitting the tip of it down, like on the table, and that gets, it kind of gets the air bubbles towards the back. So then there's less air bubbles that might come out the tip when you're trying to draw with them. And just kind of squirt it out on a piece of scrap paper, just so you can see what the line looks like that you're going to be using. So I'm going to do the whole ice cream cone, like the whole outline of it. And then kind of fill it in with the tip of it. Move it around like that. And get the itty bitty tip. Oh, and then up there. Okay. So that's our ice cream cone. Oh, where'd the tip go? Here it is, the cap. And then our ice cream, which is strawberry and not grape. So, and you're given so much of this, so you could actually use the glow in the dark if you're just doing accents on all the rocks. You could probably use it on every single one of the rocks that you get. Since you're given 10 rocks, that's a lot. Yeah. I'm gonna color it in. I'm just gonna move it around with the tip. So here's our sweet little ghosty with the ice cream cone. Okay, and I want to add some pink to our watermelon. So I'm gonna outline where the pink is. And then I'll outline where the green is. And I missed a little spot here. So there's our pink. And our green. I have to rotate it so I can see the rest of it. And you can always smear the glow-in-the-dark paint with a tip, or you could use your fine tip paintbrush and smear it around if you want that way. And actually, I could do the rind too with this color. It's kind of like a yellowish white. So I'll do that. And I'm actually going to put this color over top of the moon to make it glow. And just for interest, I think I'll put dots instead of a line, because when you turn off the lights and you see, you don't see the paint, you only see the glow in the dark paint. So it'll look like 2 lines and then dots in between, which is kind of fun. Like that. All right, and we'll put some glow in the dark around our moon. And I'm gonna make it like a swirly spiral. Just again for interest. Whenever you can add a little bit of pattern or cool like wiggly lines or something like that, I think that makes things more fun. And then our very cool fire. Ooh, I think I'll add a little pink in there too. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what that looks like when we turn off the lights. And then I'll put a little glow-in-the-dark blue inside the tent, or maybe just on the tent so you can see part of the tent too. Or maybe just around the tent. Like that. Oh, duh. And then we have the green, so I might as well use the green too. All right. Do, 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 do. Green, green, green. Oh, I just realized, and maybe it's because I have dogs on my mind all the time now. It kind of looks like a doghouse.
A little bit.
And I'm okay with that.
Dogs can go camping too.
Yeah, they can.
Maybe not the marshmallows, but.
Right? Yeah. Okay, we still have time to do a flippy floppy. I don't know if we'll make it to the frog, but let's do the flip flop. We'll let all this dry. Okay, what color should we do a flip flop? Black, white, yellow, blue, pink, purple, green, orange. What should we do, guys? What do you think? What should the base of the flip-flop be, and what should the strappy part? Yellow. Okay, so we'll do yellow as the base. And how about this strappy part?
My personal vote is blue, but that's just my favorite color.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Should we do 2 flip-flops? How should we even do a flip-flop? It's gonna look like a big oval. And then there's that toe piece.
Yeah.
That's
Could you do like 2 walking?
Maybe we could do 2 walking. Okay, I think this calls for the pencil. We kind of need to draw this out. Maybe one's over here. Yeah, maybe it is too. And it's kind of like there's a little bit for your arch. Kind of like a bean shape. We're making beans. So that goes there, and then that goes there. And that's like out there a little bit more. Okay, and then over here, whoop. Right, I think we got it here.
Oh, yeah.
And then that would go up here, and that would go up there. All right. And where do you wear flip-flops in the sand?
What if you made the flip-flops blue and green and then the sand yellow?
Okay, we could do that. All right, sand yellow. So I'm just going to paint the whole thing yellow because the blue and the green can go over the yellow. And I can still see my pencil marks underneath the yellow because the yellow is so light. Ooh, and then I can put little speckles of glow-in-the-dark orange on there to make it like glow in the...
Like sand.
Yeah, it'll look like sand that way. That. Okay, let that dry. Dry, 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 dry. And we're at that point where I don't have the patience to wait, so we're gonna just make it blue and green. All right.
Good thing they all complement each other.
And I'm gonna use, instead of using our paint, I'm gonna use our glow-in-the-dark paint and do what I had mentioned, which is like draw it out and then paint it in. Probably should put down the brush for a second. Paint it in with our brush. So here's the outline of our flippy floppy. Whoop. There's one. And here's the other. All right. So that is the outlines. And I'm going to use our brush to paint them in. And I don't know if I've done this before, so we'll see how it works. Oh, I think I'll use the broad tip one. And I'm just going to pull it towards me. But you know what? It's not exactly keeping that blue. It's kind of making it less visible. So this paint is not acrylic paint. This glow-in-the-dark paint is a paint all its own. So it's looking less blue than I thought it would. But you don't know until you try. And that's okay. This is how creative problem solving comes to life. So I could just keep going like that, kind of just blendy, blend, blend. And then I'll just do the same up here. But what I think I'll do is keep that outline that I first started with. I'll keep that there to represent the shape of the sandals. There we go. All right, cool. So it's not a solid blue, but I think it'll still be really cool, especially when it glows in the dark. All right, now we need the little strappy parts. So we'll just use our green. And one strap goes from one side to like where your toe goes, up there, and then down the other side. And then there's always that little like dotty thing that holds the straps into the bottom of the sandal. Boop. And then sometimes when you get your sandal hooked on the sidewalk, it pops out.
Yeah, put it back in.
Then you gotta put it back in.
I'm glad it doesn't just happen to me.
It always happens. You end up dropping your ice cream cone. Ghosty knows what I'm talking about. The ghosty's like, I don't even have to wear sandals.
You know,
What
he
are
doesn't have to
you
camp on the
talking
ground. He
about?
doesn't
No.
wear sandals.
Nope. Ghosty's like, I just get to enjoy my summertime.
Doesn't worry about seeds in his watermelon.
No. Just listens to music, hangs out at people's campsites.
Telling ghost stories.
Talking to the dogs. What a life. Or what a death. Yay for ghosts. All right. And these are the specks of glow in the dark sand. Okay, very carefully put it down so you don't drop it. All right. No. All right, all right, we did that. We did that. How much time do we have left? We don't have very much time left. So how about if we're going to charge up our glow in the darkies here. And how I'm going to do that is actually with the light on my phone. And you can just charge yours by, and I'll put some of the other ones that we've done in the past in here too, so you can see those. Love. But you can just hold yours up to a light for a couple minutes or a couple seconds. And then when you turn off your lights or put the rocks in a dark area, you should see them glow really cool. All right, so Georgiana, let me know when you're going to shut off the lights and I'll turn off the light of my camera or of my phone.
All right, let's start with the big one.
Okay.
Doosh.
Ooh, I already see some of this starting to glow.
One.
And a little bit more. This is so dramatic. Right, one more. What? So cool. All right. So you can see there's still a little bit of glow from the camera, but you can pretty much see how well these things will glow. Oop, see if I can get it back in. There we go. Will glow when you turn off the lights. There you go. They're so striking. You are going to love it. So thank you so much, everybody, for all of your recommendations, for joining us today. We're turning the lights back on. Before we say goodbye, are there any questions from our friends out there? Do you want to know any more about our glow-in-the-dark rocks or any of our rock painting kits? I don't think so. I don't see any more questions.
No, but I see a lot of ideas, so I can't wait to see you guys post your rocks.
Right. Yeah, we love seeing what you guys paint. So if you want to paint up your rocks, take a picture, and then you can always share it on our social media accounts. Hashtag creativity for kids. Oh yeah, and that's where these come in. So these are the stickers that you could, after you're done painting your rocks, you let them dry, and then you just flip your rock over and add the little sticker to it. So then if you do hide them at like a playground or at the library or whatever, and someone finds it, they can go to hashtag creativity for kids and see all the other rocks that have been painted or have been hidden and found. And you can add yours there too. So really fun. It's kind of like hide and seek all across the United States. It's really neat. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. And I can't wait for you to join me again for our next class. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.